Welcome to the next episode of the SuperCoach Paige Show. I'm Paige, and of course I'm joined by the lovely Mick and Damon. How are we, guys?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good to see you again, Paige.
Oh,
good to see you again as well, Cameron. I mean, Mick.
We've got Cameron Wood back off a healthy average of 81 points at the moment.
Yeah, I'm doing quite well.
You're not doing too bad at the moment.
Just hopefully I can hold my spot. That's all up to Mick Malthouse, but apparently, I think he likes me. He got me over from Collinwood.
You're the recruit, I think, of the off season. I think for Carlton and for the SCP panel.
It's all happening. It's all happening. But hey, we've missed a pretty big week of football with the NAB Challenge. It's been obviously continued to run since our last episode. There's been some very impressive players, some players that haven't been quite as impressive, and a few that have really bobbed up that have really forced our hand now to selecting them in our SuperCoach sides. But we're going to kick it off, I think. We
will, Paige. And the first game that we're going to be running through is the Bulldogs and the Saints, and a little bit entertaining and quite good to see the Dogs. They got up and
in wet conditions as well.
Yes, it was washed out and it was quite good to see. First player we're looking at is Tom Liberatore. He's priced at 576, 200, and he's selected as a midfielder, of course. If you're looking at him, and scored 156. Could you believe that?
Yeah, pretty big. We've come to expect that. He did that last year, though.
Yeah, he gets huge scores for such a little guy, but it's whether he can keep consistent.
Well, they've got a good draw, the Bulldogs.
Yep.
I like him.
Yep, he's quite good.
I really like him. Generation next at the moment.
And they are potentially looking as like a top 8 side.
Bit of a bolter.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Bit of a bolter. And he did accumulate 28 disposals, including 16 contested possessions, which I think is probably the standout there, as well as a disposal efficiency of 78.6%. And a game high, 10 clearances, 6 tackles and 6 inside 50s.
That's what we've come to know about Libba. He just dominates the clearances.
Yep. Another youngster as well that I think a lot of people might be looking at. It's a bit of a smoky. Is Jackson McRae, recruited last season, and can select him as a midfielder. He's priced at 331, 300 and scored 106. So he caught the eye a fair bit and gathered 27 disposals, 4 clearances, and 27 of his disposals, 10 came in contested situations. So it always accumulates the more points.
Well, he's backing up that top 5 picks that the doggies paid for, and actually top 6 picks, sorry.
I mean, that's huge for a guy valued at that. So I'm calling it, this is the year of the mid-range players.
It is,
I had a lot of mid-range players that Paige has just fixed up my team. But that's something we'll get to in a bit. Alright, so I've got Leigh Montagna, or Leigh Montagna, I can't say his name.
Montagna.
I
don't know, not as hot though.
Leigh Montagna.
Anyway.
Whatever it is. He got 105. He's a consistent performer. He has been his whole career. He's definitely one to look at if you're sort of not going to get the likes of Selwood or etc. He's probably one that's going to get consistently 100, maybe up to 110. Probably not break through the 120, 130 barrier too often. But, you never know.
Hey, he was in our All-Australian side last year, so he had a very good year and flew under the radar.
He was one of the few Saints, I think, to perform well in SuperCoach conditions, I guess you could say.
And, so 5 tackles for the game, kicked 2 goals, including a super goal, 21 touches. So, all very good for SuperCoach. Jack Stephen is the next one. Again, you can get him as a mid.
Love him.
He's a 593,000, so it's pricey. He's a good player though, 128 he got, 17 disposals, 11 of those contested. That's huge. That is really huge.
Oh, I like him. Tom Hickey, the ruckman, obviously the Saints look like they're playing him as the number 1 ruck. He had a huge 106 SuperCoach points and a game high 38 hit-outs. Pretty impressive for the youngster who's only done really a traineeship rather than an apprenticeship under Ben McAvoy, who's departed. But his teammate as well, Luke Dunstan, I'm a big rat for him. He's got an AFL-ready body and should stay clear of the vest this year and feature quite early. 132,000. He did score just the 54 points on debut, but that'll gradually grow.
And I think he'll be on most people's benches.
Yep.
Definitely. All right, so we move on to GWS versus Sydney, guys. That was a good game, wasn't it?
It was not too bad.
The two New South Welsh sides. Lockie Whitfield, now he's a guy that probably will tempt a lot of people. We spoke about this before. He's a midfielder, 393,000. He got 126.
Like him.
He did
kick a few goals that were a little bit. We was lucky to be there.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I did watch that game pretty closely.
It is his 3rd year, in the system.
No, 2nd. He was the first round draft pick in 2012.
Oh, he was.
So last year was his first pick. So 2nd year Blues. Don't know. It's hit everyone at GWS so far. So. Hopefully not for him.
That was the team high for GWS.
Yep.
So Shane Mumford is the next one
well.
in the ruck.
Beat much?
No. $496,000, 75. He's going to be a very good player this year. Whether you get him in the ruck instead of, say, Grundy or Paddy Ryder, or
underpriced,
one of the players who are sort of around that price range, there's a few that could potentially be your pick.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think one player that's disappointed a lot of people, and before the start of the NAB Challenge games, a lot of people were looking at him as a potential, sort of a cash cow that he could play on the field up forward, and that man is Jed Lamb. He's priced at 244,500 and only scored a paltry 58. And I think as a key position forward, you can't really expect him to perform, week in, week out, the same as key position defenders, of course. But I think you could probably overlook him based upon.
Well, he's probably he's not a key position. He's probably more of a small forward, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So he's playing that rank, and I'm going to call it rank because it is a rank small forward role. I don't think he averaged 27 disposals in the NEFL last year. He's not going to have that opportunity to play through the midfield with that sort of up and coming gun midfield the Giants have got. I think he's going to play too much of an opportunity small forward, and that price of 230 something. It's just not going to reflect in SuperCoach. I don't know. I'm not a fan at the moment. I had him initially, not anymore.
As did I. Yeah, I think you're right, and way too much competition, so I'll probably overlook him. And on the other side of the spectrum, Tom Mitchell. He's caught everyone's eye, I think, after his performances. Well, he did quite well. He's priced as a...
Was against GWS though.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, mid forward, and he's priced at 464,800. So he's quite tasty, priced under the 500,000 mark, and he scored 152 and had a huge 34 disposals. Now, will he suffer the second year blues?
Well, he's been in the system since 2011, that's what you've got to remember. So he isn't coming into his second season like most other players are that are in that second year bracket. He's physically big. He's going to have lots of opportunity this year. They look into him as a key player in that midfield, and there's no reason why he cannot back up what he was doing last year and probably go another level.
Yep, he's in my team.
Luke Parker, I love Sparky. He's one of my favourites. 468, he's going to set you back, and then obviously scored 107 against... who were they? The Swans? No, GWS, that's it.
Poultry opposition, yeah.
But look, the problem I have with Parker is his disposal efficiency. 27 disposals at a very poor 55% disposal efficiency is absolutely woeful. You can probably argue that if he had that up to around that 70%, he probably would have scored over 120. That's what you have to consider, is he's got a very poor disposal efficiency. But look, his mate Gary Rowan as well, he's crossed back into the team now after injury. He's pretty tempting at 176, and he's very much worth your bench option. The only issue I have with him is if he doesn't start sub, he may just end up in the sub vest if he's not having much impact, and that's probably the bad part of the sort of the position he's playing. Don't really know if he's really going to make a huge profit, but you can't ignore him at 176 with the lack of options there up forward. Finished with 12 disposals and three goals. 66 SuperCoach points.
He's definitely in most people's teams.
He's in my team now.
At the moment, right now.
And moving on to North Melbourne v Hawthorn. What do we think of that one?
Yeah, now Hawthorn gave North a nice big old shellacking, and the players that caught our eye. First one from the top, Sam Mitchell. Now you can select him as defender mid this season, of course, and he's more attractive than, say, your Bartels, McVeighs, Andrew Walker.
Have to have him. Lock.
And I think, considering he's a dual position player, you've got to have him in. Lock him in. And he scored quite well, 102 from 28 posies. And across the two games, he's averaging 127.5.
Huge.
So that alone, get him in.
Yeah.
Lock him in.
Yep. The next player, which is a youngster for Hawthorn, he's sort of a question mark as to whether or not he's going to break into the Hawks side. It's quite hard to do, I think, at this stage. And you can select him as a defender. He's priced at 123,900 and scored 105 against North. He did, and he's averaging 84 across his two games, and he might be one to consider, I think.
I like him. Now, Stuart Rioli, I'm going to call it, I think he's going to be the Andrew Walker of 2014, only because what we saw with Walker, he made that switch back into defence and just skyrocketed in SuperCoach, and we're seeing the same now with Cyril. 20 disposals at a solid 85% disposal efficiency. He scored 90 points for the game, but he's got an average at the moment, 96.5, which is a career high for starters. Secondly, he's playing that elusive role of half-back, which it's just delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious, to borrow a word, it's delicious.
It's tasty.
It is SuperCoach tasty.
Yeah.
But look, moving on to his teammate as well, Liam Shiels, who is I think he's going to do some great things this year. 100 last week, 135 this week, an average of 117.5. He's just doing some great things. 30 disposals, of which 10 were contested, is just massive. And that's only off 67% time on ground. So when you consider that himself, Savage and Daisy in that same price bracket, and they're only 10 grand difference in between all three.
And he's the cheapest as well, which is a good thing.
Yeah, ridiculously good, but he's one to consider, I think, too.
Definitely tasty. Scott Thompson is the next one. He's a defender. 529,400. He'll set you back. Got 81. Now, 100% disposal efficiency is indeed ridiculous. Okay, he only got 15.
Just a tidy average.
He didn't get over 100%, so settle down. He just got 100, lazy 100. Only 15 disposals though. He needs to get more. That's the only thing that's going to ramp up his points because he only got 81. And he's pretty consistent though. 83 is his average over the 2 games. Last one, Ben Cunnington. Now he's a smoky. He's got an average of 98 over the 2 games. But
he does, yeah.
For the price that he's at, you can probably get someone better.
I reckon so. Moving on to Collingwood v Richmond. Now Pendlebury, 29 disposals, lazy 29 for Pendles. 112 was probably below what we expect from him anyway. Disposal efficiency of 86%, which is about on par with his livers each week anyway. He also had 6 clearances and so far has got an average of 105. Look, he hasn't gotten out of first gear yet, so we're still yet to see his best, and he'll kick in when the season starts too. My boy Tommy Langdon, mark him down. He's going to start round 1 for Collingwood. I can tell you that right now. As an SCP exclusive, sources at the club will... I don't think he's got one.
His nickname, well, we call him Lloyd Christmas because he reminds us of Jim Carrey's character out of Dumb and Dumber.
Oh,
he's just got that look about him.
SuperCoach Paige endorsed nickname for Tom Langdon.
Sorry, Tommy. Look, 117,000. He is a defender forward, and he's going to play very early on for Collingwood with a few things going on with their defence at the moment. Only an average of 46.5, but he has played as a sub pretty much in both games. So,
and he'll get points, and he will score, which is what you want.
Exactly.
So Trent Cotchin is the next one. Now he's again one of those smoky midfielders. Who picks him? Who knows? So some people will pick him. I haven't picked him yet.
You haven't picked him. You're a non-believer.
We'll see how we go.
Shun the non-believer.
572,000, 138 points. But the previous game he didn't do too well. His average... No, we didn't have an average for him. Okay, 34 possessions.
Scrap that.
He kicked 4 goals. I mean, you can't say much more. He's a gun.
But just the one thing about Cochin as well, he did say in the pre-season he's looking to kick more goals, like Gazza did last season. So if he does, you'll see his point.
And you know what? That interchange gap, that favours him. That means he doesn't have to come to the bench anymore. He can push forward for a rest, and that's going to be more goals. We're going to see that with a lot of midfield guns this year.
Well, I hope more players want to kick more goals. That'd be
great. Who else we got?
Dusty Martin. He's in my team, and for me, he's a lock as a forward, not as a midfielder. 549,200. He got 119, 32 disposals. Go with that. He Hardwick has mentioned that Martin will play off half back this year. Okay, he did look impressive.
Yeah, I liked him. I didn't mind him there. He's got to keep his disposal efficiency up.
Yeah, something different, something new. Yeah, it's quite good.
That half back roll, it's in.
Yeah, there we go.
Black.
What have you got for us?
I've got the Lids. Brett Delidio is priced at 558,800, and you can only select him as a midfielder this season, and I think that's going to probably go against him, count against him, and a lot of people will probably gloss over him. But he did score 124, so
point of difference, maybe.
Consider, I guess, he has a point of difference player. And had 32 touches, 5 inside 50s, and kicked 2 goals. So pushing forward and kicking goals like Koch always helps. But if he does get tagged, of course we have seen over the past few seasons, he
rolls over,
can suffer.
Yep.
Next player is Sam Lloyd. He's another rookie that's caught our eye, and he's only priced at 117,300. And I think a lot of people should be considering him up forward because the lack of sort of forward rookies down there, apart from Kennedy Harris.
Yep.
You
got Impey as well, and Thurlow you can get in the forward line as well.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined to go with Lloyd, especially with Ben Lennon out for a month or so with that knee surgery.
Mature age player, and I think he probably will get the opportunities. He did score 78 and had 14 disposals, 2 marks, 2 tackles, 3 inside 50s and 2 goals with a disposal efficiency of 64.3%. So
like it.
Yeah, one to look out for.
Yeah.
Good.
Moving on to Brisbane v Gold Coast, another whitewash affair. We're going to kick it off with Tommy Rockcliffe. Just a lazy 132 SuperCoach points, nothing flashy there.
No.
32 disposal, 75% disposal efficiency. Boom, that's what we want. And he played the entire time in the midfield as well. Massive tick. 6 marks, 4 clearances, 8 tackles, and 4 inside 50s. He just killed it. He had a fantastic game. Pearce Hanley, another generation next player that's going to feature very frequently for the next couple of years in SuperCoach. 89 SuperCoach points at a 74% disposal efficiency he went at. 27 possessions and 8 marks. Huge tick there. I really love him. And again, you can select him as a midfielder defender this year, which just has got so much value, and you should definitely be doing that. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. Lock him in.
Would anyone pick him in their midfield, do you reckon?
No, not at all. When you've got too many good options like that, but it
Yep.
just helps that he's going to play more midfield time, I think.
Yep.
Yep.
And another player that caught the eye for Brisbane is Clay Beams. He's priced at 183,400. Can select him as a midfielder if you do so choose. He scored 60, so he caught the eye, and is one sort of cash cow bench option that you could put on your
183k. Not really much you can toss about that.
Yeah, exactly right.
Better
Apart
than a kick in the guts.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, you got to weigh him up against the other rookies. But Harley Bernal is the first player for Gold Coast we're going to be looking at. He's priced at 520,400 and scored a whopping 110.
Like it. But Gaz wasn't there. That's the issue with him.
Yeah.
He scores well when Gaz isn't there.
Yeah. But
That's
he
what
did,
I'm afraid of.
one thing to note as well, he did kick 4 of Gold Coast's 7 goals. So
Ridiculous.
unless he's going to be kicking them week in, week out, you can't expect him to really average those scores.
Exactly.
Jack Martin is the next one. Now, Jack Martin is one that has divided everyone.
I hope everyone read my article on him during the week.
Yeah. I was just about to say that.
I hope you did too. No, you didn't, did you? You didn't listen.
I saw the headline.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, we took everything we needed out of the headline. Look, Martin hasn't lived up to expectations so far, but seriously, it's the first 2 games. Give him some slack.
I don't like him.
He got what, 40 something the first game. He got 69 in this game. He's moving up. Okay. Next game he could be, an extra 20. He could be at 80. Then the next game he could be 150.
I like him.
You never know.
Working his way into it.
Anyway, his average is 58.5 at the moment, so
No,
we'll see how he goes. Jeremy Taylor is the next one, 130,000. So again, a rookie price, 48. Okay, is
not
what
bad
he
for a
got in the
defender
game.
though.
No,
Bench
not bad,
option.
but not great.
And for that price, I think you can't expect anything
Massive, yeah.
massive, yeah.
That is the issue.
I have high expectations.
This guy.
Just a knowledge you've seen before the show.
Moving on. Who have we got next?
We've got my fantastic great side, Carlton. Went up against Adelaide and lost, unfortunately. But first player is Daisy. Daisy, you guys know about him, don't you? You know him quite well.
Let's do the show without him.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Dale Thomas.
I used to know a guy named Daisy
I can't see it.
Thomas.
It's not happening if I can't see it.
Yeah, okay, I'll just do the SuperCoach Damon show, okay. He's priced at 341,800 and you can select him as a midfielder. He's a bit of a value option there. He scored 74.
I'm not even going to pick him.
Yeah, just out of hatred, I think.
I think a lot of people have picked him in their team, to be fair.
Yeah.
The lack of pre-season just worries me. But he doesn't take much to find touch, though.
On the stat we gave earlier, I reckon Shiels is probably a better option to go with.
On form, I'd probably say.
Yeah.
Well, given he's had a big pre-season too.
And the risk of injury for Thompson as well.
Scored 74, not too bad, 18 disposals, and looked quite polished, I must say. So I'm excited. Next player is the Carlton captain. Yes, I'm taking over Joyce's role and being biased. So
well, someone's got to.
Someone's got to, I think. Mark Murphy, he's priced at a value price of 498,300 and scored 107, 30 disposals, 3.8 marks, efficiency rate of 80%.
Good.
But as we spoke about pre-show, Paige, you pointed out that with Judd out, he's going to get more attention, and I must admit he can't handle a tag.
I fear for that, but at the same time, he's almost too good to pass up at that price. You're not paying the extra 100k you would when he's at his premium price. If we were sort of considering him now at the price in the 590s rather than the 490s, you'd say no, but you can probably make do with that price though. But I still like him. There's still a lot of value. He didn't look out of place without Judd there, and I don't know. Jury's still out on him for mine.
Get him, I think.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Andreas Everett is the next one.
Oh.
He's a defender.
Big boy.
Big boy.
He's sparked a bit of interest from a lot of people.
Yeah.
342,000, so it's that mid-price player again.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're, like you were speaking about before, the next generation, they're all coming through. 81 he got. He's got an average of 101.5 though over the 2 games.
Gee, okay.
So,
didn't know that.
you got a huge score, I think, at 120 or something over the
Yeah.
in the first game. So
They're going to start north, yeah.
he got 19 disposals, 2 marks, 3 tackles, at a efficiency of 73.7%. So quite good. If he can keep that up, maybe, you know,
might be a bit of a
one.
find.
And Dangerfield is the next one. Look, I said
We
this
don't need to
last
discuss
week.
it,
We
just
don't
lock
need to
him.
discuss it. Lock him in. 609 grand, worth every penny.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep, lock in.
Matthew Wright, a lot of discussion been over this lad now. He suffered under
Lot of
Sando
headaches.
last year, played as a tagger and played in the sub-vest, so really it wasn't ideal for Supercoach whatsoever, but he looks like he's now delivering on what he did on 2012, and he was a Supercoach stud in 2012, suffered in 2013, and looks like he's back in 2014. He has got an average, get this, he has got a Supercoach average of 136 Supercoach points. But the issue is that when the season kicks back, does he go back to that tagging role? Does he play as a vest player? I don't know how on earth Brenton Sanderson could possibly allow him to play either of those roles again after what he spat out this pre-season. And with those injuries at Adelaide at the moment, his scoring power from an Adelaide sense as well, from the fact that he's kicking goals, he's creating goals, and he's doing a lot of good things in the middle. And Jesus, think of our Supercoach side, Sando. Please.
Come on,
I
Sam.
beg you.
I'm going to throw in a new word for him. He's not tasty, he's not delicious, he's juicy.
Juicy.
I'm
Describing
gonna
words
tuck
it
that
is
one
this episode. He's one to really consider, and he's only 384 again, mid-price plays. They're everywhere. Matty Crouch, brother of Brad, looked 52 this week. Not a massive game, but not a bad one either. 15 disposals. He's got an average at the moment still of 73.5. Lot to like about him.
Yep.
I like him. We're moving on to Essendon v Port Adelaide.
I'll kick that one off with Chappie. That's what we call him.
Happy Chappie.
Yeah.
Chapman. Okay, so he's back and he's in the Bombers colours. Who knows?
Like it.
Who knows how he's going to go? Look, he's been a gun his whole career, but he's an old man now, isn't he? He's what, 100?
He's going to be managed this year,
old.
so that's the issue I have to.
Yeah. So I mean, he's probably not first pick for a lot of people, but you can get him as a mid forward. So maybe some people might chuck him in the forward line. He got 87, 24 touches, 83% disposal efficiency. It's quite good. You know, you can't really argue with the stats. And it's only 76% game time. So he also had a lot of blood gushing out of his head in that game as well.
We've pretty much that's
Which
become
is
to be expected, really.
Exactly. And then you got Happy Chappie. You got what's his name? What do you call him? Obi Joby. Let's call him that.
I made a joke.
Head Joe, did you say?
Get it?
Good
Get
one.
it? Yeah, you got it.
They got it.
Cool.
601,000. Get him in the midfield. Potentially. There's a few that you probably get over him. Maybe Ablett, Pendlebury, just to spit out a couple of names. But yeah, look, at 94, he's going to be solid the whole year. Probably average 100 plus.
Every time I don't pick him, I regret it, and then I make a way to get him in, and he looks after me. So
He could potentially not be on drugs this year as well. So you've got to take that into
just a throwaway
consideration.
line there. Moving on, Dyson Heppel. He had a cracker game last night. 94 Supercoach points. He had arguably the Bombers' best of 24 disposals and 16 uncontested disposals, which is very seagull-like of the seagull. But look, he's averaging 85.5. He's only a midfielder this year. I don't like him in that respect. If he was still a defender, I'd have him in a heartbeat, but not. He becomes Supercoach irrelevant this year. But Jared Polec, we've got to make note of him. Average of 90.5 over his 2 games, and if he has not made a case for Port Adelaide's best 22, then I don't know if he ever will. He had a huge 78.3% disposal efficiency of 115 Supercoach points, 23 disposals. He was just going. He was going crazy last night. He had a kicking efficiency at half time of 100%. That is madness.
Wow.
He is scoring some seriously good points at the moment, and if he isn't in your Supercoach side, at 172,000, consider him.
And for a player that was on the fringe at Brisbane, to have 100% kicking efficiency at half-time.
I know, it's very un-Brisbane-like. See what happens when people move out of Brisbane.
Yeah,
Brisbane will be good this year.
But moving on to the next player is Jasper Pittard. He's a defender, of course, and is priced at 329,700. Scored a massive 134, but with a history...
Wish he had done that last year when he was in everyone's side.
Yeah, he's quite renowned for being injured, though. He's in and out. I'm not going to say what you call those players, but
just the name, it just puts me off. Jasper, he makes me think of Friendly Ghost.
Yeah, Jasper the Friendly Ghost.
He's a bit pasty.
Yeah. But it had 29 posies, which included 12 uncontested marks, disposal efficiency of 82.8%, and he had 8 rebound 50s, 5 inside 50s, and game high 134. So one to potentially look at, but I'd probably gloss over him based on his history. Yeah. Justin Westhoff is another player I think I'd recommend everyone to bypass. Everyone fell for him last season.
He sucks everyone in though. He's a super coach tease.
Yeah, in the early rounds last season he killed it. In the Bernal medal he was actually leading.
I know, isn't it crazy? God.
He was playing out of his skin.
Yep.
Yes, and it's priced at 531,700. So
I nearly got sucked in. I nearly did it. Remember that episode last year? And I was considering, am I going to get Martin in or am I going to get the Hoff in? Martin scored 66, the Hoff scored 125, and then for the rest of the year, Martin went on an absolute rampage, and Hoff just coughed it all up.
Yeah. He scored 105 and
I don't know,
85.7% efficiency rating. Not too bad, but I think he's just trying to lure people in.
Yeah. I'll go against the grain. Get on him. Go, take him. He's going to be...
Man. You're the kiss of death.
Yeah, no, he's putting the moz on everyone, mate.
We'll see how we go.
Alright, well look, that's basically all we've got time for this week. Now, obviously a lot of people will know I'm actually off to America in a couple of days. I know, it's Carly's fault, you can blame her. You can find her at Carly A. Smith on Twitter. Send her your hate mail, not me. Sorry, Carly. But look, honestly, these two guys here are going to look after you. We've got podcasts coming in the meantime, and there might be a few sneaky shows, a few little sneaky episodes here and there. But apart from that, we're going to see you back. The SCP show and its full panel will be back in the second week of round 1 because it is that split round. So until then, these guys have got you covered, unfortunately. My great self. I've exhausted my great self.
So we'll have to share this central seat.
You can put a cardboard cut out of me here or something. Yeah. We'll sort that out. Anyway, take it easy. Hope your team plays well, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.